evening to you all here with Health Matters with Corporate 24 again. However, this time we're going to be talking about a very serious topic that some would say, or call it rather, taboo. So, from myself, your host, Shazan, today I've got a very special guest speaker who's actually been through this herself. She's going to give us explanations, an introduction, and also perhaps give us some tips on how we can handle and deal with the situations. So, to our guest speaker, welcome. Maybe you can introduce yourself for us.
Thank you. My name is Tinalimba Matambalaza, and I am the founder of the Zimbabwe Endometriosis Support Network.
I guess many of you didn't know that existed, but yes, it does.
It does.
And we've got a powerful woman in the forefront of. Okay, so maybe you could explain to us what exactly endometriosis and adenomyosis is.
So endometriosis and adenomyosis are evil cousins. That's what people call them. But I'll start with endo first. Endo occurs when tissue that is similar to the lining of the uterus grows outside of the uterus. Wow. So if you can picture the uterus, like little blisters or sores, like that's endo. With adenomyosis now, it's inside the muscular tissue of the uterus. So that's kind of the difference between the two.
Okay.
They do have overlapping symptoms, but they're also a bit different. They affect 1 in 10 women, and most times women will have both. Including fibroids as well, which is what I have.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is something that I've heard a lot of people say, and I just want clarification, okay? Because it is in Shana. It's called jegogono. Is that the correct term for endo, or maybe you could give me
I guess you know what, sometimes when you want people to actually like understand, you can say that it's like jego, but jego is actually a symptom of endometriosis, which is painful periods. So there are people who just have painful periods, their cycle for 3 days, then it goes. But with endo and adenomyosis, it's a whole condition that has other symptoms. Yeah.
No, that's amazing. I'm glad you've given us that clarification. What I want to know from you is how do we deal with this situation? Like, how do you know you've got endo?
So what is really, really funny is I used to be like, I would say corporate was my second home. When I didn't know that I had endo, so like frequent visits to the ER, I knew every month if I was on, I was coming to corporate 24. Yeah. For a lot of women, it's going to be very painful periods where everything stops. You can't go to work, you can't go to school, you can't exercise, you can't do your normal chores, right? That's one of the first symptoms. Then you're going to have your back pain, your leg pain, painful urination, painful bowel movements. Just imagine like your body just shuts down. You're vomiting, painful intercourse, infertility. Those are your common ones. But the thing with endo is that it's also been found on every organ except the spleen. People have sciatic endometriosis. Some people have, it grows into the sciatic nerve. Some people have thoracic, which is your lung cavity.
So it goes completely out of just the uterus of the womb?
Yes, which is why with the definition we say outside of the uterus, because it can grow anywhere. In your teeth, I know women personally who've had it in their teeth. I know women who have it in their belly button. So when they're on, their belly button bleeds. It bleeds. Yes.
That's horrible.
I know 1 or 2 women who have it in their eyes. So you are on and you have blood coming out. It's a really weird disease. With adenomyosis, it's now constricted. We're just going to have wound pain because it's inside. But now it's harder to treat. It's not like endo that we can cut out. With adenomyosis, we have to remove the whole thing. So that's hysterectomy.
Wow,
yeah.
That must be really tough. So what gives, or should I say, what gave you the courage to say, okay, fine, I'm having really painful periods? Because most of us, including myself, you get really painful periods, your legs go weak, you can't walk, you've got severe back pain, you've got this, abdominal pain, but you still wake up and say, I need to go to work. And I know most Zimbabweans have that tendency of, it's just period pain, let me go to work.
Yeah.
What would stand out most to say, you know what, girl, this is just not an ordinary period pain? What would really, poke at me to say, get yourself to the ER, this is serious?
Yeah, so I went to an all-girls school. The first thing was, I seem to be the only one who was like this sick.
Yeah.
And you'd ask other girls, like, what do you do on your period? Like, oh, just take paracetamol and I'm all good. Like I was saying, I would have to get into emergency, get pethidine, your tramadol, like it's crazy, and they're missing off school. So that's when I was like, something is wrong,
Serious,
right?
yeah.
But now with endo, the issue is that you can literally go into the ER and nothing is seen on scans. It's very hard to find. So that's one of the issues that a lot of women will seek, help. They'll see doctors, and doctors will say everything is looking normal. So it's usually not seen by the naked eye. The only way you can diagnose endometriosis is by having a laparoscopy, of which most of us are scared to have surgeries anyway. So it's quite difficult. On average, it takes about 7 to 10 years to get a diagnosis. So that's the first thing. So I pretty much suffered during high school, got out of high school, and it was getting worse. That's the other thing. It can become progressive, especially if you don't have treatment, because you don't know what's wrong with you,
So have you been, like, previously,
Yes,
you end up going
I
to scans?
ended up being diagnosed with endo, but it was stage 4.
Wow, okay, so
Yeah.
we have stages here.
You have stages. 1
What-
to
what-
4.
Yeah, what do you mean
You
by
have stages. We have
four?
stages
Okay.
1 to 4. So endo has characteristics like cancer. I think you've heard me saying it can spread, it can move. So most of us, when we start our periods, we don't know. We don't have this information.
Yeah.
I started my period at 9. That was another sign.
Okay,
I
so
just
the
thought-
earlier you get your periods.
Yeah, I mean, it was quite early.
Yeah.
And then from there, because we don't know what it was, it's just growing, it's doing its thing. And the reason why your period is so painful is it gets so aggravated during your period because you're releasing estrogen. It's an estrogen dominant disease.
So it's like a flare up, your body
It's a
just.
flare up, and then your body's just like, nope, we can't do this.
Yeah.
So yeah, that then happened. Then I leave school. I actually didn't end up going physically to uni. I had to do like online distance learning because I was so sick. Finally got a diagnosis, but the doctor was like, you're stage 4, things are bad. So I had an operation in 2011, 2015, 2019, and then 2021. I've had 4.
Yeah.
The reason why you see like there's kind of like spaces in between is you have a bit of relief, then it starts to grow again and again and again. You have another one. I know a woman personally who's had 30 surgeries.
30 surgeries.
Yes.
I think that's a bit much. She's really strong.
Yeah.
That must
This is
have
someone
taken a
who's
toll on you
having-
emotionally.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Getting into that, let's talk about the treatment side. Aside from surgeries, is the medication that you need to be taking? Is it, maybe explain that a bit more to us.
So, I mean, endo is not a one-size-fits-all for women. For some women, funny enough, who have stage 4, they don't have a lot of pain. I have chronic pain, so I take painkillers every day. How I've managed to do it is I eventually went to a pain management doctor.
Okay.
So she put me on a proper regime where in the morning you do this, in the afternoon you do this, in the evening you do this. So a lot of women will manage with painkillers. Some, it's the constant operations if the painkillers are not working. Hormonal treatment is also a really big one. And there are different kinds of hormonal treatments. You have your control pill, then it goes higher and higher and higher to prescription type ones. You can put in a Mirena, which is like a loop.
Okay.
So there's 2 kinds of loops. You have the copper one that most women use for contraception, and then you have the other one which has the hormones, which is what women with endo, fibroids, PCOS will use. So I've used that as well. There's even one that I don't like talking about, but a lot of women have been offered this called Zoladex or Lucrin.
Okay.
It is actually a cancer medication for prostate and breast cancer.
Okay.
So it started to be used in endo because with breast cancer it's also estrogen.
Yeah.
I have done it twice. Literally did it last year. It was such a big mistake for me personally.
Yeah.
Lost hair, your typical cancer side effects.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I have stage 4, it's all over. I had to do it. And then also when you are preparing for IVF, sometimes they will suggest you do that first, clear out your system, clear out the tumors, and then you can start to do IVF. So treatment-wise, we have our painkillers, we have our hormones, we have our surgeries, basically, and it's up to you what you want to do.
Wow, that's a lot. I'm getting a bit emotional here. Like I'm just trying to picture myself in situations where women go through this and they don't have that full understanding.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why we're actually doing this today, so that you guys have that understanding of, some things are just not normal. Some things you do need to seek extra help or extra understanding so that you know the situation you're in. Getting to that, okay, I would think personally it would be difficult when it comes to conceiving.
Yes.
Am I in the right tracks here?
Yes, about 50% of women with endo and adenomyosis will not be able to conceive.
Okay. You did mention IVF though.
IVF, yes. So the main reasons why we have problem with conception is you could have poor quality eggs because of endo, number one. You could have eggs, but you're failing to fertilize them because of endo. So the sperm comes in, sees endo, can't fertilize the egg. Some women produce no eggs at all.
Wow.
Right? Mm-hmm. Those are kind of like your main reasons why a woman wouldn't fall pregnant. Or for some, you fall pregnant but you miscarry because of the disease in the womb. So this is when we now talk about IVF. Right? IVF, which is your in vitro fertilization, where they kind of help you and boost you to have like the optimum, rate egg. Yeah. But we do have other options. We have adoption, we have surrogacy. All of this is being done in Zim now. I personally feel that there's a taboo about that as well. I think I mentioned to you earlier, I was actually married, and one of the things that really strained my relationship and my mental health was not being able to fall pregnant. And there were other options. But what I found, even especially with the support network, is because of our culture and tradition, it's not acceptable in society, And so a lot of women put so much pressure on themselves. You end up, doing treatment. Sometimes treatments are just not, your body just says no, and you're pushing it and you're pushing it and you're pushing it, and then I think it's important to realize that this is happening to so many women, and it's okay to use other routes. So we have and we even have donor eggs. So if you don't have good eggs, you can get someone to donate an egg. But I still feel that in society it's so taboo.
It is.
It's not a thing people talk about. Adoption itself is like,
wow.
So But we do have options. I always want to emphasize that we do have options. Take care of yourself first. Take care of your body. And not everyone has the same journey,
That's true. And I want to thank you for actually opening up and explaining to us your experience. I want to ask you something as well, though. What is the support system like from, say, your partner at the time, or maybe from your friends, and how, just because like most men don't understand this as well. And to them it's just like, all right, they're just being a problem. She's just being a woman. But like you're genuinely going through something really serious. So what was your experience with having that support system? Did your husband at the time have that understanding? Do you think more men need to actually understand what endometriosis is? Maybe give me your insight.
I think with my ex-husband, he was understanding, he was supportive. But I think it's different when you're going through it like every day. And I think also what's important is sometimes someone is not giving you the support that you need at the time, or the support that they want, that you want. Maybe I think with me it was more of his understanding and his background and how to support, and it just wasn't the way I needed to be supported, because it's hectic, it's physical on your body, and then you have family members who are on you, and it just becomes so emotionally and mentally draining. And something that I've really been speaking about also is a lot of women, you end up feeling so worthless because the talk is just, when are you having a baby? When are you having a baby? When are you having a baby?
You get that pressure.
You get that pressure, and everything else in life ceases to exist. And it can become very, very dangerous for your mental health. And that's where I got personally, where it was consuming me. Having a baby was consuming my whole life. And the treatments were just too much for my body, and so I had to make a choice. I think also in terms of family, I have a very supportive family. Like my immediate family are amazing, but remember they've gone through the journey with me, so they understand that it's not a joke. And friends as well, not all of them, because some will say just get over it, but every woman I think gets to the point where they really want to have a baby, and you've got this life plan, and it's not happening the way that you've planned. So I think a support system is very, very important. And again, I think with some people you don't realize we do have support systems. Like in our endo group, we
I
understand
was
it.
about to get to that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I wanted to know more about your organization for those who don't have that support group, you know, from their family members or their partners.
Yeah.
Maybe explain that to us as well.
So it's an online support group, but we do have physical meetings. So sometimes we just meet, we have a picnic, you know, just to wind down and to literally have that physical presence of someone who gets what you're saying. But other than that, people can join the support group by sending me a message. Maybe you guys can put my contacts below.
Okay.
Usually I just have a chat with someone first and then you can come into the group. But we do have social media pages at Zim Support Network on Instagram and Zimbabwe Endometriosis Support Network on Facebook. And then I am always talking about it on Instagram, so people can also follow me at I am Tinelepo and I can help you. You're not alone. I think it's a lot. It really is a lot, but it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
And there's so many women that are out there going through the same thing. So, you know, join us and let's
I
work it
think
out
I'm
together.
definitely going to try and steal your time when we're done with this,
Please,
because
please
I have
do.
questions and I
Okay.
need answers, and it's difficult. You know, you go to doctors and you try and find out what's going on.
Yeah.
You go for scans and you're like, you know. Just to mention that we do have X-ray and scan center here at Corporate 24, so one-stop shop. You know what I'm saying? You can come in. We've got TP rooms. We also do laparoscopic. We've got a laparoscopic tower. So yeah, you come in, and you did mention that's how you actually get the diagnosis here. So then, if you were very you know,
sure, you want answers.
you just pop in and
Seek help, guys. Seek help. Like, pain is not normal.
No, it isn't.
And we've been primed as women that is, we suffer, but no, it shouldn't be like that.
Yeah, we don't have to go through this alone, guys.
Yeah.
We have support, guys. All right, so we're gonna mention this as well. It's yellow.
Yes, yellow. This is our awareness ribbon. So, you know, so many other causes have ribbons. We have one too, and it's yellow.
That's cute. So
Yeah.
support a sister, guys. Get yourself a yellow ribbon.
Yes.
What Corporate 24 is gonna do is we're gonna put some up in the front. So if you do come in and you know, you wanna know more about it, catch us on this podcast, or front desk can just assist you. Literally, we'll tell you what it is about. I think we've got enough information now.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you.
Really appreciate this, and love to all the women out there, and to you for
Yes.
being a strong woman and
Thank you.
presenting yourself in this manner. Because if it was me, I would be in bed. But it's okay, you know.
There's no time for that. We fight.
Yeah, we do. All right, thank you guys.